Let's jump right into it. Today on The Explainer, we're diving into a wild, ancient geopolitical conflict over resources, power, and ultimately, survival. We're going to look at the intense rivalry between two massive historical figures, Isaac and Abimelech. Now, if you've ever dealt with cutthroat competition, territorial disputes, or just really difficult neighbors, you are going to find the strategies in this ancient narrative incredibly relevant. We'll see how a localized fight over the absolute most precious resource in the ancient world nearly sparked a full-blown war, and how a completely unconventional strategy led to lasting peace. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We'll start with 1, 2 leaders, 1 land. Then 2, repeating past mistakes. 3, the ancient water wars. 4, Rehoboth, room to flourish. 5, an unexpected peace treaty. And we'll wrap up with 6, lessons in peacemaking. Let's get to it. Section 1, 2 leaders, 1 land. To really grasp this conflict, picture the harsh, arid landscape of the ancient Middle East. Out there, water isn't just a convenience. It literally equals wealth and survival. The guy holding ultimate authority in this territory, a place called Gerar, is Abimelech. Now, it's super easy to assume that's just his first name, but historical sources point out that Abimelech is actually a generic title for the Philistine kings of Gerar. Think of it kind of like the title Pharaoh in Egypt or Caesar in Rome. It translates to, "My father is a king." The whole situation kicks off with an environmental crisis. A massive, severe regional famine hits the land. Now, normally, when a crisis like this strikes, you pack up and flee south to Egypt, right? The Nile River is basically the ultimate agricultural safety net. But Isaac gets a divine instruction to just stay put right there in Gerar. And because he chooses to submit to this instruction, he secures a promise of divine blessing and future land for his descendants. So he drops anchor right in King Abimelech's backyard. And man, staying put pays off in a way that defies all economic logic. I mean, during a time of widespread regional starvation, Isaac reaps a 100-fold harvest in a single year. That is unheard of. He builds up massive flocks of sheep, giant herds of cattle, and employs this enormous workforce of servants. He basically becomes his own economic powerhouse overnight. But, as you can imagine, in a tribal society, getting that rich, that fast, immediately sparks some intense and, frankly, dangerous jealousy among the local Philistines. Section 2, repeating past mistakes. Now, what's really interesting about this is how history perfectly repeats itself here. Before the economic tensions even reach a boiling point, this crazy interpersonal crisis complicates everything. Years prior, Isaac's dad, Abraham, lived in this exact same spot. And because he was terrified the local men would murder him to take his gorgeous wife, Sarah, Abraham lied and said she was his sister. Well, fast forward a generation, and out of that exact same fear for his own life, Isaac tells the current king, Abimelech, that his stunning wife, Rebekah, is just his sister. It's like this inherited family flaw born out of fear. But, well, the lie unravels pretty quickly. The king happens to look out a window, sees Isaac and Rebekah interacting, and realizes they are very clearly a married couple. He summons Isaac and just absolutely reams him out. Because by lying, Isaac risked letting one of the local guys unknowingly take Rebekah, which the king knew would bring immense moral guilt crashing down on his kingdom. But then, plot twist, instead of executing him, the king unexpectedly issues a super strict decree protecting the couple under the threat of death. Section 3, the ancient water wars. So the crucial point is that this royal grace allows Isaac to live safely, and his wealth just absolutely explodes. And the local Philistines, they just cannot handle his success, so they launch a brutal economic Cold War. Their master plan? They go out to all the old wells that Isaac's father Abraham had dug years ago, and they literally fill them to the brim with dirt. In a farming society, choking off a rival's water supply is a straight-up act of aggression designed to force them out. Finally, realizing that Isaac's operation is just way too massive and powerful for them to coexist, King Abimelech officially steps in and boots Isaac out of Gerar. Isaac complies. He moves out to the valley to dig new wells for his massive herds, but the locals follow him. Day 1, Isaac's crew digs a well, and the local herdsmen violently claim it. Isaac names it Esek, meaning contention. Okay, so he moves again, digs another well, and boom, the locals fight him for that one too. He names this one Sitnah, meaning enmity or hatred. It's a bitter, escalating, and profoundly frustrating journey of nonstop sabotage. Now I have to ask you, how do you respond when someone repeatedly sabotages your life's work? I mean, Isaac has the wealth, he has the manpower, and he undeniably has the legal right to fight back here. He could have easily started a localized war over these wells. The tension is palpable. What would you do? Section 4. Rehoboth, Room to Flourish. Well, instead of drawing swords, Isaac employs a totally radical strategy. He yields. He just moves a third time. He digs yet another well, and this time, nobody contests it. The local herdsmen don't show up. There is no fighting. You can literally feel the profound relief Isaac must have felt in the name he gives this one, Rehoboth. It translates to room or broad places. Isaac's own words, recorded in Genesis chapter 26, capture this breakthrough perfectly. Now the Lord has given us room, and we will flourish in the land. By continually just walking away from those petty, draining fights, Isaac preserved his resources, protected his people, and eventually stepped into true spaciousness and unobstructed prosperity. His yielding wasn't a surrender. It was a strategic relocation to peace. Section 5. An unexpected peace treaty. The story doesn't just end with Isaac's quietly succeeding from a distance, though. He eventually travels up to Beersheba, and it's here that he has a truly profound spiritual encounter. In the middle of the night, God appears to him, comforts him, says, "Do not fear," and officially reaffirms the covenant promises of presence and blessing. In response to this massive reassurance, Isaac publicly worships by building an altar, and he pitches his tent right there to settle down. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. True strength, coupled with nonviolence, commands a deep, undeniable respect from your former enemies. Guess who suddenly shows up at Isaac's camp in Beersheba? King Abimelech himself, along with his advisor Ahuzzath and his army commander, Phicol. Isaac looks at them point blank and asks why they're visiting after kicking him out and hating him. The king's response is amazing. He says, "We saw clearly that the Lord was with you. Let us make a treaty." See, Isaac's peaceful persistence didn't just win him some water. It literally won over an entire rival nation. So Isaac hosts a huge celebratory feast to mark the occasion. The next morning, they swear a formal oath of non-aggression and peace. And in this incredibly poetic conclusion to the whole historical narrative, that exact same day, Isaac's servants come running with amazing news. They have struck fresh water yet again. Isaac names this well Sheba, sealing the peace treaty with the ultimate symbol of life. Section 6. Lessons in Peacemaking. So how do we actually use this ancient strategy today? We can break Isaac's conflict resolution down into 3 really clear, actionable steps. Step 1. Do not retaliate when provoked. When they filled his wells with dirt, he didn't attack. Step 2. Dig a new well. Or, to put it in modern terms, pivot your efforts. If someone is blocking your path, just move laterally and apply your energy somewhere else. And step 3. Let your success speak for itself. You simply don't need to argue your worth if your results, your Rehoboth, are totally undeniable. Let's move to and see how this builds into some timeless takeaways. First, yielding is absolutely not a sign of weakness. Often, it's supreme strategic restraint. Second, choose forgiveness over endless draining fighting. Third, trust that if you keep digging, if you keep working with integrity, a wide open space, a Rehoboth, is waiting for you. And finally, living peaceably is simply the most effective way to eventually win over your absolute harshest critics. I want to leave you with one vital question to ponder today. In your own life, what battle do you need to walk away from right now so you can finally find your Rehoboth? Seriously, think about it. Sometimes the key to truly flourishing isn't winning the fight. It's realizing the fight just isn't worth your time. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer, and I really hope this deep dive helps you find your own room to flourish.